Well, Hamdimweke joins us now. He's the spokesperson for the All Progressive Grand Alliance in Abia State. He also did contest for the senatorial seat in the same state. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much indeed.
Well, the elections, the supplementary part of it, will hold this weekend. And I was just talking to Mr. Wangba. We brought to his notice what the PDP candidates were saying that, look, why couldn't the INEC have declared their candidates the winner of these elections based on the results now so far? They think they've won free and square, and that the supplementary elections, no basis whatsoever.
That exposes two things. One, ignorance of the process. Let's just take that first. Where the margin of lead is less than the outstanding votes in areas where elections did not hold, and these are places where PDP and INEC said elections didn't hold, then you must declare the election result inconclusive. That is first. Coming to the thrust of it, they did not win the elections. The returning officer, Professor Benjamin Ozumba, announced, following my application and the observations that they made themselves, that there were no elections in Obingwa, no elections in Osisiama, no elections in Isialangwa North. Yes, I also made further applications that there were no elections at all in my own local government. Okay. You will remember Isialangwa South. You will remember that your television crew actually covered the elections in my local government on that day. And that was the local government where your men went to the hospital, saw people injured, saw fracas all over the place. That could not have been a conducive environment for elections to have held. There was also the issue of Ugunabo, where elections also did not hold. But let's say that what they admitted before the governor and his assault team barged into the collation center was Obingwa, Osisiama, and Isialangwa North. With those results expunged, as they should be, from the calculation, my party, the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, is winning by about 53,000 votes.
Let me pick up on the three local government you talked about, because we had Senator Baribe here earlier on, and he talked about that. First and foremost, the returning officer had no basis whatsoever to cancel those results, having been announced at the polling units by the officers there, and that's what the Electoral Act stipulates. And so, realizing that that was a mistake on his part, he had no choice but to reverse himself.
Let's not even go into the right or wrong of it, but whichever way it is, once the returning officer had made that pronouncement, he ceases to be briefed of that issue. Once that announcement had been made, rightly or wrongly, the only competent body to reverse it would be a tribunal or a court of law.
But that didn't happen.
The eminent professor cannot sit in appellate authority over his own decision. What would have happened had the governor and his team not assaulted the collation center, taken the wreck? Yes, barged in. You would recall that I was actually the state agent for that election for my party. After our submissions and the cancellation was made, a phone call was put to the governor. The governor came in person with Senator Abaribe, Emokoro, Chief Onyemo, the Junior Defense Minister, Colonel Akabondo, and a host of all other people.
The call that he spoke about.
Barged into the collation center, literally dragged the wreck out, took the returning officer, Professor Zumba, upstairs, and he came back, shaken, to reverse himself. What if he had arrived at a time when the cancellation had been made and the result declared and we were made winners?
The governor came, the incumbent governor of Abia State.
Correct. T.A. barged into the collation center.
To the collation center.
Into the collation center. An illegality of the highest order.
Who? The REC?
The resident electoral commissioner. The returning officer, Professor Benjamin Ozumba, the VC of Nsoga.
Wait a minute. He took...
They went upstairs.
Professor Ozumba and the REC away from the collation center.
Literally stopped proceedings. Your television crew was there. IT was there. NTA International was there. I'm surprised if you haven't seen the clips, because it was aired all over the world with the governor barging into the collation center process. That is an illegality. Whereas the governor may enjoy immunity until the 29th of May of next month.
If he is done.
The other people, Colonel Akobandu, Senator Nyina Abaribe, who you mentioned, Chief Onyemugochukwu, our friend who telephoned in the last time I was here, Dr. Emokoro, and the rest of them do not have any immunity. And I'm quite pleased to see the new IGP acting, saying that he is going to take very seriously electoral fraud and electoral violence very seriously. And these people will be, using his word, separated and brought to justice. Whereas the governor enjoys immunity until towards the tail part of next month. Well, these people do not, and they should be prosecuted.
Let me come in here, because it's not even about immunity, it's about
Yes.
electoral fraud.
Absolutely
whether
right.
anyone has immunity or not.
Absolutely
that can
right.
be established.
Yes.
But when he came in and took the rec and the EO and every other person away to a chamber, you said upstairs.
Upstairs.
Didn't your agent go with them?
I was the agent.
Okay,
why would I follow them? Then I would actually be lending credence to whatever he was going there to do. We don't know whether offers were made. We don't know whether it was just intimidation, because the eminent professor came back shaken.
Was it after his return he reversed himself?
Immediately after his return, he said, I have instructions I wish you have the clip. I have instructions to reverse the statement I made earlier. He has no right to reverse himself. He cannot sit in appellate authority over his own decision. Only a competent court or tribunal can make that decision. Why can't PDP go to tribunal if they were so grieved by the fact? Because with those results, until the reversal, which we say is an illegality, we were leading, and we still maintain we are leading by 50-something thousand votes after won the elections.
The supplementary elections that hold this weekend,
Yes.
are those 3 local governments you spoke about part of where elections will hold?
From the figures we have seen now, it would appear not. The supplementary elections were actually supplementary elections coming out from 40 Gs, areas where elections did not hold for whatever reasons. And
you don't agree with those reasons, if you say for whatever reasons?
Oh no, when I say for whatever reasons, either the materials didn't get there, there was violence, whatever the reasons were, those were the areas that elections were supposed to be held in. It may well be, and we are hoping that Jega will be speaking today, this is a serious test on Jega himself. This goes to the root of the fairness of the umpire in the whole process.
For the supplementary elections this Saturday, is
Yes.
it just for the governorship or the state assembly as well?
That hasn't become clear yet. That hasn't become clear yet.
I'm just a little curious, though.
Yes.
The APC chairman who was here for Abia State spoke about the supplementary elections not solving any problem. Do they solve problems for you?
Well, there has to be a cutoff. Everyone agrees that the level of irregularities in the elections in Abia State, as perpetrated by the PDP, and I must say this, that the level of irregularities could not have been this much without some level of connivance from high-level INEC officials. Something very interesting. At the collation center for the governorship elections, we had, it went from the obscene, from the bizarre to the obscene. We had the results coming from Ohafia, Mboro, being collated, not at the ward level, not at the local government level, being collated at the collation center where the results were being announced before all of us. And they were told to go upstairs. They had 5 hours. What they didn't realize was that part of the areas they were collecting the results for, our people actually had the result sheets from the booths. When they finished, I presented that to the panel, to the rec, and to the returning officer, saying, look, the same figures they are writing, they are different. These are our 4 result sheets covering some of the areas they have covered. And they were significantly different. We had massive wins in those areas. The ones that were being rewritten while we were sat in the state collation center
All right,
Get victory.
So you haven't
But
quite
again,
answered this question about whether or not these supplementary elections, you were talking about drawing the line. Do these supplementary elections solve the problem of credibility and figures on the ground?
It can only do if the decision made properly by the returning officer is upheld.
Okay.
Then we take the supplementary elections to cover the other areas where elections didn't hold. I say that INEC has one or two options. One is admit that those elections didn't hold in the 3 local governments where the announcement has been made by the REC, and either do a rerun. We don't mind. If you feel that you won the election, what are you so scared of doing rerunning the 3 local governments? We're not talking about the entire state.
Let's find out.
In the alternative, give us the victory because we won the election. Talking about the supplementary election.
But your figures are very far away. I mean, if already the PDP has over 200,000 and you're still around 150,000, how can you be declared winners?
If you do not remove the 3 local governments, they are winning by 82 or 83,000 votes. If you remove the 3 local governments, we are winning by 50-something thousand votes.
All right,
so we are winning.
Let's
just talking on her point about the supplementary elections. As at today, this started yesterday, the PDP had armed their youths and their hoodlums with machetes. They are going around Abia, deterring people from coming out and chanting war songs saying, if you come out and you're not voting PDP, we'll kill you. This morning, we have, and you can have Spokesman check this out, we have caskets, coffins, placed in strategic places where the supplementary elections are supposed to be holding. Is this the atmosphere where you're going to hold the so-called supplementary elections and you'll expect a fair outcome? Yet there is the police. Yet there is the army. What are they doing to arrest these people who are trying to discourage people from coming out to vote? So
let's get a direct response from a member of the PDP. That's Mr. John Wangberg, former Commissioner for Information in Abia State.
Yes, my brother, I know him.
Several allegations made against your party here. Are you writing results now?
You can imagine how ridiculous that sounds. What has always happened is this. We have a situation, if you will appreciate the common psychology, the common sociology here, the madman will always see a sane man and call him mad. It's a common experience. That is just what we are having. The man that commits a very, very serious and heinous crime will turn around and accuse another of committing that same crime. What my brother has just been saying there is quite, surprising to me. There's nothing like that. PDP is not doing that. It is that PDP is apprehensive and that is being done because people are cloning PVCs. As we talk now, people are distributing PVC to people who were not originally registered voters or who never had it. And now they are claiming to have it. Who is doing that? We have captured a couple of them and reported and nothing is being done. So that which they do, they turn around and shout and let the world believe that they are the victims of what others are doing, whereas they are the ones perpetrating the same.
Let me bring this to you, John. Just hang on a minute.
Using the media,
could you hang on? First,
believing that what they're saying is right, but PDP is not writing any result. PDP is rather asking for a formal declaration of the winner of the election held on the 11th of April.